Do you believe that there should be only one legal system in this country and that no one, even the president, should be above the law?
I believe that no one is above the law, but you all have put the president beneath the law, and you have weaponized the system against him, whether it is the leak of his taxpayer records.
His taxes should never be leaked. No taxpayers' information should be leaked. I agree with you on that. But let me ask you a separate question.
Would you like to apologize to the president right now on behalf of the...
I have nothing to apologize to this president for. His taxes should not have been leaked, but it was leaked by a contractor. And you keep trying to dissemble here and avoid the questions.
Your grocery bill is higher right now. Your gas tank costs more right now. Your health insurance premium just jumped right now. And the man in charge of the entire United States Treasury just stood in front of Congress and told you it's all in your head. That man is Scott Bessent. He runs Treasury. He oversees the IRS. He is supposed to answer to you. Instead, when a sitting congressman asked him a direct question about the money disappearing from your paycheck, Bessent smiled, dodged, and then insulted the state that congressman represents. This is the moment Brad Schneider stopped letting him get away with it.
I actually want to give you a chance to correct the record on something you said. You earlier commented somewhat offhandedly that the conflict with Iran had ended. Do you truly believe that we are no longer in conflict with Iran and that they are no longer a threat to Israel or allies in the Gulf, that their nuclear program has been destroyed, that they no longer have a ballistic missile program and drone program threatening its neighbors in the region, and that they will no longer sponsor terrorism in the region and around the world?
So are you saying you're in agreement with the president's decision to...
You said the conflict was over. I'm asking, do you believe the conflict's over and everything's
the
copacetic?
conflict is on pause.
So everything's good with Iran now?
No, don't be absurd.
I'm asking you to clarify.
Absurd. That as the president said yesterday, unless an American life is lost, he does not believe that he will have to restart the kinetic acid.
Okay, so I'm reclaiming my time, and I'm just trying to help you clear the record. I'm reclaiming my time, Mr. Secretary. Can you promise, because this is your jurisdiction, that you and the Trump administration are not considering lifting sanctions on Iran as a concession towards opening the Straits of Hormuz?
We've made it clear that the Straits of Hormuz, the blockade, is the only thing that will be lifted to reopen the Straits.
So no sanctions relief whatsoever?
I'm not part of the negotiating team, but I am told by the negotiating team, and I strongly believe that the blockade will be lifted.
Okay, and I'm going to just reclaim because there's a lot of things I want to cover. My hope is you'll keep Congress informed of any such considerations if they do come up. Also in your opening remarks, Mr. Secretary, you said Americans have more money in their pockets. That's not what I'm hearing from my constituents. Are you saying the overall cost of living is lower today than it was 16 months ago when you came into office? Because what I'm hearing from my constituents is that the cost of groceries are up. For example, beef, coffee, tomatoes are at record or near record highs. The cost of housing is up, and for too many, the American dream of buying a home is out of reach. I'll let you answer. Healthcare premiums continue to rise, and millions of Americans have either already lost or expect to lose their health insurance altogether because of H.R. 1, the bill you so joyously celebrate. Energy costs, gas for our cars, electricity for our homes are all rising through the roof, and family care, child care, and elder care is prohibitively costly. Are you saying that cost of living is lower today than it was a year ago?
No, I am saying that we are much closer to the Fed's target rate of 2% on core inflation than we were when President Trump came into office. We are at 2.8%, and you can list off the most expensive groceries that have had the biggest price increases.
I think you're just out of touch with what American families are facing.
No.
As my colleague noted, I'm reclaiming my time. Tariffs are a tax on American families.
Let's start with the lie Bessent told first, because it's the one that matters most to your wallet, your safety, and your family right now. Bessent had claimed, offhandedly, like it was nothing, that the conflict with Iran was over, done, finished. Schneider called that out immediately. He asked Bessent to look him in the eye and confirm, is Iran no longer a threat to Israel? Is Iran no longer a threat to our allies in the Gulf? Has their nuclear program actually been destroyed? Have their ballistic missiles and drone programs been dismantled? Will they stop funding terrorism around the world? Bessent could not answer a single one of those questions directly. He hedged, he deflected into a question about the president's decision-making. Schneider pinned him down again, and Bessent finally admitted the truth. Everything is just on pause. Not over, not resolved, paused. That is not what he told the American public. That is not what Bessent implied in his own opening remarks. A pause is not peace. And Treasury's top official just got caught softening the truth about an active foreign conflict to make the administration look stronger than it actually is.
This is my time, Mr. Secretary. This is my time. I will speak. And then
2.5%.
Higher grocery prices are taxes on American families. Higher gas and electricity prices are taxes on
Democrats should
American
know.
families.
No wonder so many people are leaving Illinois. Why don't you come see me in South Carolina?
They're not leaving. They're coming to Illinois. Just a simple question, Mr. Secretary.
You're saying Illinois doesn't have net outbound migration?
All right, let me take it to a different topic, and I know you don't want to address it, but my constituents are outraged and want me to talk to you about the absurd illegal self-dealing settlement between President Trump and his family with the Justice Department and the IRS over which you have jurisdiction. The administration apparently believes that there should be two systems of justice, two sets of laws, one for the president, his family, and his rich friends like you, and one for the rest of us. Nothing demonstrates this more than the so-called settlement with its slush fund for insurrectionists and tax immunity for the president and his family. Mr. Secretary, simple question. Do you believe that there should be only one legal system in this country and that no one, even the president, should be above the law?
I believe that no one is above the law, but you all have put the president beneath the law, and you have weaponized the system against him, whether it is the leak of his taxpayer records.
His taxes should never be leaked. No taxpayers' information should be leaked. I agree with you on that. But let me ask you a separate question.
Would you like to apologize to the president right now? On behalf of the...
I have nothing to apologize to this president for. His taxes should not have been leaked, but it was leaked by a contractor. And you keep trying to dissemble here and avoid the questions. Do you believe that all Americans should pay the taxes they owe and not a penny more?
100%.
Yes or no? All right. So do you think it applies to the president of the United States, irrespective of whether the president is a Democrat or Republican?
Yes.
Okay, so we agree on this, and we should have a tax system that is fair, and it should be applied fairly to all people. But I can tell you that my constituents are outraged by the agreement the president made with himself and his own Justice Department that excluded him from ever having an audit over his taxes. No one should be targeted. No one should be targeted by the administration. Whoever is in the White House.
Read the addendum.
No one should be targeted by the administration. Whoever's in the White House, their taxes should be paid, and they should be confident that that information will be kept confidential with the IRS and not used to target them, their families, or their business.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more.
Then Schneider pressed him on something even more concrete: sanctions. Is the administration secretly negotiating to lift sanctions on Iran as a bargaining chip to reopen the Strait of Hormuz? Bessent's answer should terrify you. He admitted he is not part of the negotiating team. The Treasury Secretary of the United States, the man whose department enforces sanctions, is not even in the room when sanctions relief is being discussed. He is guessing. He is telling Congress what he's been told. That is not oversight. That is not transparency. That is a Treasury Secretary flying blind on a matter of national security while pretending he has answers. Now, here's where it gets personal, because this is about your money. Bessent stood in that hearing room and claimed Americans have more money in their pockets today than they did before this administration took office. Schneider didn't let that slide for 1 second. He laid out exactly what his constituents are living through right now: beef prices at record highs, coffee prices at record highs, tomatoes at record highs. Housing so expensive the American dream of owning a home is slipping out of reach for millions. Healthcare premiums climbing. And because of the administration's own signature legislation, millions of Americans have already lost or are about to lose their health insurance completely. Bessent's response: he didn't deny a single one of those facts. He couldn't. Instead, he pivoted to a talking point. Core inflation is at 2.8%, closer to the Fed's target than when the administration started. That's it. That's his defense. He wants you to celebrate a statistic while you're standing in a grocery store aisle watching the total climb higher every single week. Schneider called it exactly what it is: out of touch. And then Bessent did something almost unbelievable. Instead of addressing the tariffs driving up the price of your groceries, your gas, and your electricity, he turned around and mocked Illinois. He told a sitting congressman representing Illinois families that no wonder so many people are leaving the state, and invited him to move to South Carolina instead. Schneider shut that down immediately with the facts Illinois isn't losing people to outbound migration. People are coming to Illinois. The Treasury Secretary tried to score a cheap political point instead of answering for the tariffs, hammering household budgets nationwide, and got caught making things up in real time. But the sharpest moment of the entire hearing was still coming. Schneider pivoted to what may be the single most corrupt arrangement in modern Treasury history, a settlement between President Trump, his family, and the Department of Justice and the IRS, an arrangement that grants the president and his family effective immunity from tax audits. Schneider laid it out plainly. One system of justice for the president and his rich friends, another system for everyone else. Then he asked Bessent the simplest question imaginable. Should anyone, including the president, be above the law? Bessent said no one is above the law. But he refused again and again in hearing after hearing that same week to confirm whether the audit immunity for Trump and his family actually still stands. Senators pressed him. Congress members pressed him. He hid behind ongoing litigation every single time. A federal judge has already blocked the administration's proposed $1.8 billion compensation fund tied to this deal. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche has already testified that part of the arrangement is falling apart. And still, Bessent will not give Congress a straight answer about whether Trump and his family are shielded from the same IRS scrutiny you face every year. Schneider forced him into a corner on the basic principle: do you believe the tax code should apply the same way to a Democrat president as a Republican president? Bessent said yes. Schneider used that admission against him instantly. Then why does this administration's own settlement carve out an exemption from audits specifically for this president and his family? Bessent had no real answer. He fell back on blaming Democrats for weaponizing the system, the same deflection he used on Iran, the same deflection he used on inflation. Every hard question, the same move: blame someone else, cite pending litigation, change the subject. This is a pattern. Scott Bessent runs the most powerful economic agency in the federal government, and when pressed on Iran, on inflation, on tariffs, on IRS accountability, he had no direct answers, just talking points, deflections, and insults aimed at the lawmakers asking the questions on your behalf. Brad Schneider didn't let him hide behind a single one of them. The Treasury Secretary of the United States could not tell Congress whether the president's own family still gets special tax treatment. He could not explain why your grocery bill keeps climbing while he brags about a statistic. And he could not confirm the Iran conflict is actually over, because it isn't. Brad Schneider asked the questions you would ask if you were in that room. Scott Bessent gave you excuses instead of answers. Comment below. Tell us what question you'd ask Bessent next. Subscribe for more accountability breakdowns, and hit like if you think no one, including the president's own family, should be above the tax code.